2 days passed, but no one forgot what Kara did. The academy halls were filled with whispers. Students walked faster when she came near. Some avoided entire corridors. Even teachers began speaking more carefully in her presence. She wasn't loud. She wasn't aggressive. But everyone knew now she was dangerous. The Alien Council held secret meetings every night. Fear was growing. What if this human was just the beginning? What if Earth had more like her? Inside the meeting chamber, voices clashed. We must remove her. She hasn't broken the rules. She broke a professor's arm. He touched her first. She's a human spy. She's just a student. But one voice ended the debate. It belonged to council leader Zahn, a six-eyed insectoid being known for his cold logic. She cannot be allowed to humiliate our academy further, he said. We must end her presence, publicly. The plan was simple. Challenge her in the arena, not in secret, not behind closed doors. Make it public. Let the students see her lose. Let them see she's not unstoppable. Break her spirit, break her image, break the human pride. That evening, a message appeared on Kara's hollow board. You have been selected for an honor duel. Refusing brings automatic failure and deportation. Kara stared at the screen. Her face didn't change. She pressed a CC. The next day, the combat arena was full. Alien students filled the seats, buzzing with excitement. Whispers and bets moved through the crowd like fire. Who's she fighting? Not a student. Someone bigger. They're bringing Voros at that name. Even the bravest students went quiet. Voros was not a student. He was an elite alien warrior, half stone, half muscle, over 7 feet tall, with arms like tree trunks. He had once broken a steel door with a single punch. He stood in the center of the ring, flexing his claws. His red skin glowed under the lights, and he was smiling. She won't last 5 seconds, someone whispered. Kara stepped into the arena. No armor, no helmet, no weapon. She wore only her academy uniform, hands behind her back, eyes calm. The announcer shouted, "Begin." Voraz charged. The ground shook under his feet. His roar echoed like thunder. The audience leaned forward, ready for the impact. But Kara didn't move. She stood still, her head tilted slightly. Watching. Voraz raised his fist. Just as it was about to strike, he froze completely. Like a statue, his fist hovered in the air, inches from her face. A strange sound filled the arena. Not a growl, not a scream, a cracking. Then it happened. Voraz fell to his knees, gasping. His arms dropped. His mouth opened in shock. His body started shaking, and then his entire body collapsed to the floor. The crowd was silent. Kara hadn't moved. Not a single step, not a single hand raised. Yet Voraz lay motionless on the ground, his chest barely rising. Council members in the viewing box stood up horrified. Some shouted, others simply stared. She didn't touch him. She didn't use a weapon. What is this power? Kara looked at the crowd, then at the council above. Her voice was soft but clear. I told you once, we are not here to fight. But if we must, we don't miss. She walked out of the arena. No one stopped her. Back in the council chamber, chaos had begun. This is worse than we thought, one councillor said. She's a threat to galactic order. She could kill any of us. Send her back to Earth. But leader Zahn raised a claw. No, we do not send her back. That would be weakness. He looked out at the stars on the screen behind him. We break her. Back in her room, Kara sat by the window, staring at the twin moons. A message appeared on her holopad report. Status of mission. She typed, threat level rising. They fear me. Arena test completed. Message sent. Then she paused and added, they are planning something. At the same time, Thriel watched the arena replay on his device again and again. His hands shook. He remembered what she said in the gravity dome. Earth doesn't send children for fun. We send observers. But this wasn't observation. This was domination. Who are you really, Kara? He whispered to himself. He didn't know, but he was going to find out, even if it meant risking everything. Thriel couldn't sleep. He had watched Kara defeat Professor Kralex. He had seen her stand motionless while Voros's strongest alien warrior collapsed like a broken tower. But nothing made sense. How could a human do this? He sat in his room, lights off, screen glowing. On it, line after line of data scrolled fast. Thriel had broken into the Academy's private database, a crime punishable by exile. But he had to. No, he typed in her name. Kara Elian, Earth. The file was locked. Higher security than any student. Even higher than some teachers. He bypassed 2 walls, then 3. Finally, the file opened. Thriel leaned closer, eyes wide. Kara wasn't just a student. She was listed as EarthGov observation agent. Class Red. Below that, one short sentence made his throat go dry. Trained under Project Silence Human Neural Combat Program. Level. Threat class unknown. He sat back, heart racing. Neural combat. He had heard whispers of such things in ancient alien war logs. Warriors who didn't fight with fists or weapons, but with their minds. But humans? No one ever believed they had such abilities until now. Suddenly, his screen blinked red. Trace detected. Thriel cursed and shut down the system. He pulled the plug and backed away. Sweat ran down his face. Someone knew he had seen the file. Across the campus, Kara stood alone on the academy tower, wind in her hair, eyes staring at the stars. She had felt that someone touched her file. She didn't smile, but she wasn't surprised. From her pocket she pulled a small communicator, old tech disguised as a pen. She pressed the side. A cold voice answered. Kara, report. I've been exposed, she said. Someone accessed my record. Terminate. Kara paused. No, she said. Not yet. He's just curious, like a child playing near fire. Then proceed to next phase. They need to understand what humans are truly capable of. Kara looked up at the stars again. Understood. The next day Thrill followed Kara again. This time she didn't pretend not to notice. As she entered the science lab she stopped and turned around. You're not good at hiding, she said. Thrill froze. I'm not hiding, he replied. I'm learning. Kara tilted her head. And what have you learned? That you're not here to study, he said. You're here to send a message, to step closer. And what message is that? That humans are not what we thought. Kara nodded slowly. That's a good start. He gathered his courage. What are you really? Kara looked around. The lab was empty. She walked to the center table, placed her hand on the surface, and activated a small hologram that showed Earth and zoomed out to show human ships across various systems. Earth was quiet for a long time, she said. We watched. We listened. While other species evolved with technology, humans evolved with pressure. Thrill frowned. What kind of pressure? Kara's eyes turned cold. We burned. We fought each other. We broke our own planet. Then we built again, stronger, faster, smarter. She looked directly at him. You call us weak, but we survive. Things your species can't even imagine. Thrill stepped back. But that's not strength. That's madness. Kara smiled slightly. To you, maybe. She closed the hologram and turned to leave. Thrill called after her. Do you plan to destroy us? She stopped at the door. That depends on what and whether you choose peace or fear. Then she walked away. Hours later, the Alien Council gathered again. Leader Zarn stood before the others. We tried to shame her, he said. She didn't flinch. We tried to defeat her. She stood still. Now, we must try something else. The others listened silently. We must make her choose, Zarn continued. If she shows aggression, we expose her to the galaxy. If she stays silent, we prove she's only bluffing. And if we're wrong, asked one elder. Zarn's voice dropped. Then we may face war with a species we don't understand. That night, back in her room, Kara received a new message. From Earth's command, the Council grows bold. They may provoke a strike. Permission granted to escalate if necessary. Kara stared at the screen. She didn't reply right away. Instead, she looked at the academy outside her window. Stars blinked in the black sky. Students walked below, laughing, talking, pretending everything was normal. She whispered to herself, they still think I'm alone. But she WASN single quotes T. Far away in deep space. Cloaked human ships waited in silence, hundreds of them, invisible to alien radar, watching. Waiting. For the signal. The academy was quiet but not calm. Something had changed. Every corridor had more guards. Every hallway camera was turned toward Kara's usual path. Even the teachers had been warned to stay out of the way. Inside the council chamber, Leader Zarn stood over a glowing table. The face of Kara blinked on the screen. She is calm, he said, but we now know she is not here to learn. Counselor Viren hissed. She embarrassed us in the arena. She humiliated our best professor. If we let this continue, our entire race will look weak. Leader Zarn nodded. Then let's not continue. He pressed a button. A plan unfolded on the screen. Tomorrow, we invite her to a peace session. Public. Formal. But when she enters, she won't leave. The next day, Kara received the invitation. Galactic Unity Meeting Academy Hall. 0900 hours. Attendance required. She read it. Her eyes paused for just a second. Then she stood, tied her hair back, and walked out of her room. She didn't take her bag. She didn't carry a weapon. But she knew what was coming. The grand hall was full. Students, professors, and council members sat on golden platforms. Security bots lined the walls. Elite alien guards with shark spears stood at every door, and in the center stood a silver chair, just one. A voice echoed from above. Today we gathered to celebrate unity. We are proud to host the first human representative, Kara of Earth. Applause filled the room, but it was thin and fake. Kara walked calmly to the chair. She didn't smile. She didn't look afraid. She just sat down. Leader Zarn stood. Kara, he said, do you know why we called you here? She nodded. Yes, you're afraid. The room went silent. Zarn's smile dropped. You're clever, but not respectful. I don't respect lies, Kara replied. He snapped his fingers. Guard stepped forward. Then you'll respect power. Kara looked up at them. You don't understand what you're doing. The guards raised their weapons. I'm warning you, she said. Her voice was calm. Steady, unchanged. Leader Zarn gave the order. Detain her. Suddenly everything changed. The lights flickered. Guards froze mid-step like statues. Their weapons stopped glowing. Sparks flew from the wall panels. The Academy's security system shut down one section at a time. Boom, boom, boom. A low hum filled the air. It was like energy, but deeper, like something was pressing on everyone's chest. Kara stood up slowly. Her eyes now glowed faint silver. She spoke quietly, but her voice echoed unnaturally. You should have listened. Leader Zahn shouted. What is this? Stop her. Kara looked up at the ceiling. A quiet tone rang from her wristband. Authorization accepted, said a digital voice. Human command engaged. Field release in progress. Invisible pressure expanded outward. A circle of air burst away from her body, shattering the floor beneath her feet. The golden tiles cracked. The guards flew back as if thrown by a hurricane. Students screamed. Professors ducked. The lights exploded and sparks above. Kara stepped forward, each step shaking the ground slightly. Leader Zahn tried to run. Kara raised her hand. He froze in midair, lifted like a doll, his body locked. She spoke slowly now, not loud, but every word cut through the room like a blade. You call Earth weak. She stepped closer. You mock our bodies. You test our patience. Her voice deepened, fused with a strange energy. You forgot one thing. She stopped just inches away from the frozen Zahn. No species survives more pain than humans. We don't bend, we break. With a wave of her hand, Zahn flew backward into the wall and slumped unconscious. All screens in the room suddenly switched to a new signal, not from the Academy, but from deep space. A man in black armor appeared. His eyes were cold, his voice clear. This is Admiral Rain of the Terran Defense Fleet. He looked into the camera. We sent one observer. She showed you patience. You responded with force. He leaned forward slightly. This was your only warning. Then the screens went black. The hall was silent. Smoke curled from broken wires. Security bots lay in pieces. Students sat in stunned silence. Too afraid to speak, Kara turned toward the main door and began to walk out. Thrill stood at the edge of the hall. He had seen everything, he whispered. You're not just strong, you're a message. Kara paused beside him. No, she said. I'm the question. He looked at her, confused. What question? She didn't answer. She just walked away. Up in the stars, hundreds of cloaked human ships waited in silence. Some crew members stood by weapons. Others watched the Academy from far-off screens, but none moved, because Earth hadn't given the final order. Not yet. The Academy was broken. Its walls still stood, but the silence inside was louder than any war. Students didn't talk. Teachers didn't teach. Every screen had gone black after the message from the Terran Defense Fleet. No one saw Kara after that day. The aliens who once mocked her now whispered her name with fear. Kara, the Bonebreaker. Kara, the mind weapon. Kara, the human warning. But the silence was not the end. It was the beginning. Far above Ziverney, a satellite flickered to life. It was an old broadcast station, abandoned, forgotten, orbiting uselessly for years. But now it was active again. A single signal was sent to it, and then, without warning, every screen across the galaxy turned on. In ships, in homes, in schools, in war rooms, in palaces. One image appeared on all of them. Kara. She stood in a dark room. No weapons, no armor, just a black suit with the Earth insignia on her chest. Her eyes were calm. Her voice was slow. To the citizens of the Galactic Network, she began. My name is Kara. I am human. I am from Earth. She paused. You thought we were weak. You thought we were slow. You thought we didn't belong in your star systems, so you tested us. Her face didn't change. You insulted us. You challenged us. You attacked us. A new image flashed behind her. Professor Krellick screaming on the floor. You tried to humiliate us. Then a second image, Voras collapsing in the arena. You tried to crush us. A third image, Leader Zahn floating in the air, helpless. And when we stood strong, you planned to silence us. Kara stepped closer to the camera. You were wrong. She raised one hand, and behind her space opened a live view of Earth's fleet. Thousands of human ships, glowing in black and silver, hovered in perfect formation, silent, ready. We are not invaders, she said. We are not conquerors. But we are no longer silent. She looked directly into the lens. From this day forward, humanity will not ask for permission. We will not beg for a seat. We will take it. A final warning appeared on the screen in bold red letters. Earth is watching. Be kind, or be broken. The transmission ended. The galaxy was quiet on Ziverney. The council sat together for the first time since the attack. Their faces were pale, their voices low. What have we done? One elder asked. Leader Zahn sat silently, still recovering. His broken pride hurt more than his bruised body. We awakened something we didn't understand, he said finally, and now, we can't put it back to sleep. On a distant asteroid, a group of alien warlords watched the message replay again and again. One of them, with metal skin and glowing eyes, spoke. We underestimated the humans. Another one replied, they didn't come to destroy. They came to remind us of what pain really looks like. On Earth, deep underground, Kara stood in a long hallway filled with screens. Admiral Rain walked beside her. You did well, he said. They're afraid now, Kara replied. They should be. Rain stopped and looked at her. But you didn't just scare them. You taught them something. Kara raised an eyebrow. What's that? He smiled. That it's not the loudest voice that wins, it's the one that stays quiet until it has to speak. Outside Earth's orbit, the human fleet slowly pulled back into stealth mode. The mission was complete, no wars had started, no blood had been spilled, but a message had been sent, loud and clear. And across the galaxy, in schools and ships and council rooms, alien children grew up hearing the story of a small human girl, the girl who never raised her voice, the girl who broke bones without standing, the girl who spoke once and made the stars listen. Her name was Kara. And Earth was no longer ignored. The cold silver floor of Xiva-9 Academy echoed as Kara stepped into the main hall. She was small compared to the tall, scaly aliens around her. Her brown hair was tied in a simple knot. She wore the academy uniform, but it looked odd on her because she was the only human in the room. Eyes turned. Whispers followed. Is that a human? She looks like a child. Why is she here? Kara didn't look at anyone. She walked straight, her face calm, her steps slow. She knew they were watching her, judging her, laughing inside. In the academy, only the strongest species studied: warriors from Zarnok, scientists from Glitha, mind readers from Serix, and now a human to them. Humans were soft, weak, low-gravity species from a dying blue planet. They couldn't lift much, they couldn't fly, they couldn't crush metal. But Kara was here for a reason. Her classroom was circular, with glowing walls and chairs made for three-legged beings. She sat down quietly in the back. She didn't speak, she didn't move. The professor entered. He was tall and purple-skinned, with 4 long arms and eyes that glowed red. His name was Dr. Krelix, a former war scientist who now taught interspecies physical study. His eyes stopped on Kara. He tilted his head and smiled, not kindly. "Well, look what we have here," he said, loud enough for the class to hear. "A little earth creature among warriors." The class chuckled. Some covered their mouths, others didn't. Single quotes T. Kara looked up but said nothing. Dr. Krelix walked closer. "Tell me, little human, do you even lift your own body weight back home?" A blue-skinned student laughed loudly. "I heard they break bones when they fall off stairs." More laughter. Kara blinked slowly. She didn't speak. Her face didn't change. Dr. Krelix circled around her chair. "I'm curious," he said. "Would you like to show the class a bit of your human strength?" Kara looked up, her eyes calm like a silent storm. "No," she said quietly. "No," Krelix repeated, pretending to be surprised. "Come on, stand up, prove us wrong. Show us you're not just meat wrapped in skin." She didn't move. "You'll regret it." Now the room got quieter. Some students shifted nervously. That voice didn't match her size. It didn't sound angry, it sounded certain. Krelix's smile faded. "What did you say?" I said. "You'll regret it." Kara's voice was still calm. The professor reached forward with one of his long arms. "I just want to see what your bones are made of." Suddenly there was a snap. Everyone froze. Krelix screamed. He fell backward, holding one of his arms. It hung the wrong way, completely broken in the middle. Kara was still sitting, still calm, still in the same chair. She didn't touch him. Gasps filled the room. A red-skinned alien dropped his notepad. A girl with crystal hair covered her mouth. She didn't even move. Double quotes. Someone whispered, "What just happened?" Another said. Krelix sat on the ground, eyes wide in pain and shock. "You broke my arm." Kara stood up slowly now. Her voice was soft. "I told you." She walked past the class, not looking at anyone. She stopped near the door and turned. "You think humans are weak," she said, "but you've only seen the ones who smile." She left the room. Silence followed her. In the hallway, 2 security bots turned to face her. Before they could speak, a signal flashed in their systems. Access granted. Orders cancelled. Kara kept walking. In the control room, a hidden screen showed her walking down the corridor. A shadowed figure watched from Earth. A human general smiled. "She's ready." The story of what happened in Professor Krelix's class spread like wildfire across the entire academy. By the next morning, every student knew the name Kara, but they didn't call her by her name. They called her something else now, the Bonebreaker. Alien students avoided the hallway where her class was. Some stared in silence when she passed. Others turned their eyes away quickly, pretending to be busy. The same aliens who once laughed at her now whispered behind locked doors. "Did you see her eyes? She didn't even blink when his arm cracked. Is it human tech? Is she even real?" Kara didn't care. She walked the halls calmly, her small bag over her shoulder, her steps quiet like a shadow. She never looked around. She never responded to anyone. Her mission was simple: learn, observe, and only act when necessary. But now everyone was watching her. One student wasn't afraid. His name was Thrail, a green-scaled alien with sharp yellow eyes and a curious mind. He was from the planet Eza, a species known for gathering information and for being excellent spies. Thrail had never met a human before, and after watching the professor fall, he wanted answers. Why did she break his arm? How did she do it? And most of all, what was she hiding? He followed her that evening. Kara didn't know, or maybe she did and didn't care. She went to the training dome, a high-gravity room used by elite alien warriors. The sign on the wall said, "Warning, gravity 10x Earth's standard. Aliens usually trained here in heavy armor or with support boots." But Kara, she stepped inside barefoot, Thrill blinked, hiding behind the glass panel. He checked the gravity readings. They were correct. The room was 10 times heavier than her home planet. Inside, Kara stretched her arms. She started doing push-ups, then sit-ups, then pull-ups from one hand. No strain on her face, no sweat. Her breathing was calm. 30 minutes passed. She didn't stop. 1 hour, still moving. Her eyes closed as she lifted her body like it was weightless. Thrill whispered to himself, "How is she doing that?" He tried entering the room but stopped at the first step. The weight hit him like a falling mountain. His knees buckled. He gasped. He couldn't move. Inside, Kara opened her eyes slowly. She turned her head just enough to see him. She smiled. "Watching me?" she asked. Thrill stepped back. The gravity outside the room felt like air again. He coughed. "I was curious." Kara walked to the edge of the dome. She didn't look angry. Her voice was soft. "Curiosity can be dangerous." Thrill stood up straight. "I saw what you did to the professor. That wasn't luck. That was something else." "I warned him," Kara replied. "You didn't touch him," Thrill said. His arm broke without contact. "Was it a weapon?" She stepped closer. Only the glass wall separated them now. "I wasn't sent here to fight," she said. "But I can." "Sense?" Thrill asked, confused. "By who?" Kara smiled again, this time darker. "Earth doesn't send children to alien schools for fun. We send ... observers." Thrill's eyes widened. "Observers of what?" "Of weakness," Kara replied. "Of fear. Of lies hidden in polite voices." Then she turned and walked back into the dome, where gravity was too strong for most aliens to stand. Thrill stayed behind the glass, frozen by what he'd heard. That night, in the council chamber, Professor Krulak sat with his broken arm in a biocast. The elders of the academy sat around him. Some looked angry, others looked worried. "She is dangerous," Krulak said, "a threat to us all." "She didn't start the fight," one elder replied. "You provoked her. She shattered bone with her mind." Krulak yelled, "No weapon, no movement. That is not normal. She's just one human." Another elder said. Krulak looked at him coldly. "One is enough." Back in her room, Kara sat in the dark. A screen lit up from her wristband. A message blinked. "Agent Kara, hold position. Await next directive. Do not engage unless attacked." She tapped to reply. "Understood." Threat levels rising. Alien fear increasing. Mission on track. Then she turned off the screen. Outside her window, the twin moons of Xivanine glowed quietly, and across the stars, on a hidden human ship orbiting a dead moon, someone was watching her feed live. A general in black uniform nodded slowly. "She's holding back," he said. "Good."